up, doll collectors, hobbyists, fabs, and besties? I'm Toya, an adult doll collector. Welcome to my miniverse. First, I want to say thanks to all of you who gave me some great tips on how to get out those wrinkles. You know, those. When I get some time, I'm totally going to try to steam them out. But right now, I want to make a new backdrop for Stitch. It is no secret that I love Stitch. I got my Doorables. These are the ones I found on clearance at Michael's, and I've been slowly opening them. This is bag D013. Please be Scrump, please be Scrump. Nope, it's the rare waving Stitch. So I've got Doorables, mini brands, Funko Bitty Pops, a plush, and I've been getting these Stitch figures at Five Below. They're by Just Play, we get 2, and I just love the backdrops. So let's grab a little poster board and make a new doll space like we did in our easy bathroom video. The background looks like it's right out of the movie, like it's drawn or painted, so let's give that a try. Let's lay a piece of poster board on the craft table. I'm going to fold it in half, so it's 14 by 22 inches. I'm going to paint on this. Is it going to warp? Most likely yes. But I've painted on poster board before and it dried okay, so hopefully we have similar results. Cause we're using what we got. And I've got some acrylic craft paint. Not a lot though. Ooh, I found more. Let's start with a little lavender. Trying to make a really pretty purpley type of sunset vibe. Let's mix in a little white paint. And I'm just kind of swirling it around. I have no actual plan. Let's add a darker purple to the top, then maybe a little pink and white. Maybe those are some clouds. Yeah, let's give that a try. Let's bring in a pale yellow. Okay, so we had a few issues. I dropped a little paint, but I think we kinda got the vibe. Let's use a little blue paint to make a mountain. Let's mix in a little lavender and just fade it with that blue. Use more blue to add some ridges. And let's mix in a little touch of green and allow it to dry. Paint a blue line going across. Let's mix in a little turquoise and a hint of white. Add brown and yellow to the bottom to hopefully look kind of like sand. Ah, it curled. I think we can fix it by just gluing more poster board to the other side. But first, let's finish the painting. It looks like we need a few palm trees. But first, let's lighten this mountain a little because I just kind of feel like it's not standing out, or mountains. So yeah, let's just go in with a little lavender. Better. Let's lightly sketch out a few trees. Then just add a little paint. I'm using a golden brown as a base coat. Then let's mix in a little gray. Let's add a little burnt umber. I just keep taking those same colors and blending back and forth, trying to get the look. Then let's mix a little yellow into that golden brown and pretend that this is where the light is hitting. Then maybe just a little blue on the other side, because that's what I'm seeing in the inspo. I'm going in with a little more yellow just to make sure we can really see that shine. I'm thinking that the sun just set right around here, so the light is shining out. All right, I think we can move on to a little greenery. I'm gonna start with a little blue just for the base. The color is called Teal Sea. Let's add a few palms at the top, allow it to dry. Then let's add grass green. Then let's add a little bit of a lighter green here and there until we get the look that we want. I've let this dry overnight and I had weights on top, but it's still curling a little. So let's take another piece of poster board, cut it to the length that I want. The color really doesn't matter, we're just using it for support, and I'm gonna glue it behind the painting to help it stand a little straighter. On screen, I can barely see the sand and the top of the palm trees. But since this is painted, we can always go back with a little paint and make adjustments if we want. Now here's the inspo, and we can see for the sand, they went with something a little more realistic. so we can glue down scrapbook paper that looks like sand. I have these two prints to choose from. The lighter one looks more like the inspo, but I love all the texture in this one. The lighter sand looks like it matches a little better, but I have more of this one. So let's see if we can just make it blend a little bit more by changing the paint a little. I'm adding in a little more yellow and golden brown, and I make sure the paint goes past the bend. Once dried, I glue down the scrapbook paper, and we have our scene. I love the idea of creating backdrops inspired by packaging, because I love box art. Of course, you don't have to paint your backdrop. You can go with scrapbook paper or posters instead for a quick backdrop, and we can throw a few artificial plants in the scene for a little detail and bring in more greenery since we can't see the leaves at the top. Now let's take our Stitch out of the box. I think this might be a good size to be a Stitch in our 1/6 scale world. I paid $5 for 2 figures at Five Below. We have Stitch playing an instrument and one where I think he is waving. This is totally reminding me of my Grogu phase. You know, him. When I was going out of my way to find different figures, so it looked like the character was changing poses. Stitch and Grogu are about the same size, so I can totally see using him with the dolls. And I've collected quite a few in different poses. On the back of this box, we get a different picture, and they're using grass. So I'm laying down my artificial grass mat. I got mine at Michael's, but I've seen these at Dollar Tree for about $5. Let's place some of the packaging underneath to create some hills and valleys, allowing us to switch it up for the photos. Here we have upside down Stitch, and we got Scrump, which looks like a perfect size for the dolls. So here's a doll, and here she is with Scrump. Then we can bring in Stitch. So yeah, I like it. As I've been collecting these figures, I did notice that some are repeated in different sets. This one gives us Stitch and Scrump and Angel, and this one gives us Stitch and Scrump and Stitch with the beach ball. See, there's 2 Stitch and Scrumps. Then there's this one where Angel is repeated. So now I have a few doubles, which probably could have been avoided if I was paying attention. But they are painted slightly different, so there's that. Here's Stitch with a record. And I totally love that we have Angel. Here is Stitch and Leroy, who I had to look up because I didn't even know that was his name. And then we have Stitch reading a book. That's a cute one. As I was opening these, I saw that one had a house in the backdrop. I wonder if we can make something like that. Years ago, I bought this Disney Animators Collection miniature house that can still be found today. I think it's a great dollhouse for dolls. The front door can open. It ran on batteries, but I probably need to change them. We can see inside. It has a few accessories like a bed, a record player, a mini Scrump on a pillow. We have Lilo, a mini Stitch, and a few other things. Let's see if we can recreate something kinda like this. I take a piece of poster board, fold it in half, open it back up, and let's sketch out a plan. I very lightly sketched a door, can you see that? And 2 windows out to the side. I carefully cut out all the windows using a craft knife. In the inspo, the front of the house has a yellow wood. Well, I don't have that. I do have planks that are kind of off-white. This is a scrapbook paper I bought at Michael's. Or I can go with this. It comes in this scrapbook paper pad, also from Michael's. It's very distressed, but it has a lot of texture. It looks like this light yellow or cream paint is just flaking off. In the same book, we have this one, which is another light wood. It does look a little more yellow. I went with the light wood that had a touch of yellow. On the other side, I recut the windows. Let's trim them with this turquoise wood plank paper. I cut it into strips and glue it across and around the windows. I add blue paper going down the sides as well. Let's use a brown paper for the door. And of course, you have the option to cut your door open. Take clear plastic from packaging, tape or glue it over the windows to get the front of our house. Let's see if we can add a railing. So let's take a scrap of poster board. I cut a 7 by 7 inch piece, fold over the bottom inch, cut out rectangles, leaving that bottom inch intact. Cut the cutouts into strips and glue them on to make it stronger. Cover it with leftover blue paper. I glue it onto the poster board 4 inches from the house. It's a little floppy, but I think we can fix that. I glue a sand print in the front and a wood grain in the back. I cut 2 half-inch strips of poster board, cover them with the turquoise or blue paper. I bend it about 2 inches, then I bend it up 4 inches from that. So it looks like this. I glue the shorter end onto the back of our rail. I fold the other piece going up, apply glue, then fold the whole thing over. So when we open it, the rail pops up. Now we can add our beach house on the side of our beach to make a large scene. To me, it looks like the set design for a play. We can bring in a few plants and get Stitch ready for his photo shoot. These are quick backdrops that are easy to store and perfect for when you want to switch things up and try something new. And of course, it's large enough for dolls. We can go through our Illy Forever clothes and pick out something with a Stitch theme. For the doll who is a Stitch fan, I love that there is so much Stitch merch in the doll world. And I just found this Scrump plush at Five Below for $5. So now Scrump can have a mini Scrump. And I found these Stitch cell phone umbrellas. It has a suction cup so you can attach it to the phone, and it's removable so we can just open it up and use it as a beach umbrella. I saw 2 different ones. We can use the surfboard from the Five Below Glam Squad dolls to be a surfboard for Stitch. We can also make one using leftover poster board and leftover scrapbook paper to make a board that is light enough to lay against the rail, giving us more detail for the scene. Thank you for joining us while we checked out some Stitch stuff for dolls and made a backdrop. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram and YouTube at MyFroggyStuff and Bella of MyFroggyStuff on Instagram. And we will see you next time. Bye!